Recently, recently, I was meeting a friend for lunch, and I got there about 20 minutes early. It was in a mall, kind of an area, like an outdoor mall. We've got a lot of those where I live. And next to the restaurant was a bookstore. I thought, oh my goodness, I've not been in a bookstore in forever. When was the last time you were in a bookstore? Maybe you're in a bookstore right now. I thought, well, fun, because I used to before you know, being a kid or having kids. I didn't like to go to bookstores when I was a kid. So let's get that straight. But as a young adult, I used to love going into bookstores. Loved going into bookstores. I like to be there. I'd like to just peruse books and walk around and find one to sit down and read. All the things that people like to do in bookstores. And then through a combination that's no fault of bookstores. I had kids and I got busy with my career and just time was finite, a little bit more finite, and then COVID happened, and then Amazon happened, and da 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 da. I just hadn't been in a bookstore for a long time, so I went inside, and it was as lovely as I had remembered. So just a great experience to be able to smell the books and to see the books and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm looking around, going through the aisles, and I come across a new book by Bill Clinton. And I thought, wow, what in the world could Bill Clinton write about that I would be interested in reading? What in the world would he have to say? So, in honor of that, I've got thoughts. And of course, I don't know who needs to hear this necessarily, but you are going to hear it because here we are. So, five things. Five things. New book edition. New book edition. So, let's just start with I don't know if we need to start with the Bill Clinton. Maybe this will be kind of a bonus one. But the only book that I'd be interested in reading from Bill Clinton is if he produced some version of the OJ book, How I Did It. If Bill Clinton wrote a book like a tell-all about his life, I'm there for it. I'm there for like a 10-part Netflix series, one of those limited run deals, like The Last Dance that was so successful. I bet it would be more successful than that. Like I want to go all the way back. Little boy in Arkansas. How did Bill Clinton become Bill Clinton? This thing writes itself without question. The shrewd maneuvers that this guy pulled, the bodies that he buried, the bodies that he and his lovely wife have buried together, and just the skeletons in the closet and all of it. Oh my gosh. It'd be the biggest book ever. I can't imagine that we'll get it. Or maybe we will. I tell you what, God forbid. If Hillary passed and it was just Bill, I bet we'd get that book. But there's zero chance. Or I think Bill would, I'd really want Bill to like be reading it though. So when Bill passes, will Hillary do it? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope that that is a thing. So that is far and away, that would be an awesome, awesome book. And movie and everything else could be like a graphic novel too. Oh my goodness, the possibilities absolutely endless. Worst case, we could just have AI create it all and get some. We wouldn't even need it wouldn't even need to be dramatic. We wouldn't even make any. We would not even need to make anything up. We could just connect all the dots. Man, like a real world House of Cards. Yeah, buddy, that would be pretty awesome. So let's see. What is the next book that I would like to see? Books that are probably never going to get written. Scratch that. These are books that will never be written, but I'd probably be interested in reading. Number four is Nancy Pelosi on stock trading. Let's go. Let's go. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that we can track the investment performance, the performance of the portfolios of our elected officials? And Nancy Pelosi is a dominant trader. She's a dominant investor. She makes Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, rest in peace, and these other investors look like chumps, man. She's dominant. So I'd love to read that book, but I don't need to read it. She just has inside information that she gets to act on. You know what happens to you and me if we act on and profit from inside information? We go to federal prison. Don't believe me? That's what happened to Martha Stewart. Yeah, that's right. So I'd be interested in reading Pelosi's book, but again, I probably wouldn't even need to read it because I already know the answers to the questions. Man, how are you such a good investor? Well, I know what's going to happen in advance. She can literally read the future because she is in committee meetings where they are approving regulations or awarding contracts. She's picking the winners. And then she can then take positions either for or against these companies. So she can trade off of the information that she has. So it's not that much of a secret. Next, I'm not sure if we can put Pelosi at 5. Let's do that. Number 4, I want to read LeBron James's book on longevity. And of course, the foreword would be from Lance Armstrong. LeBron James, how have you been able to perform at such a high level for such a long time when no one else is able to do it? What's your secret? And of course, we all know we all know the answer to that one as well. Better living through chemistry, better performance through chemistry. Number 3. Number 3. I want to read Joel Osteen's book, and it's going to be called What's Hell Really Like? Now, that's silly and probably going to get a lot of hate over this one because Joel Osteen fills up freaking arenas, which is shocking. Have you ever watched one of his sermons or whatever? He's not good. It's not good. The guy is an absolute cartoon character. He looks like he's the most Botoxed, hairsprayed looking motherfucker anybody's ever seen. Yet he's filling up arenas, this prosperity gospel, as he is jet setting around literally on private jets, driving the nicest cars, wearing the nicest clothes. He bought the Houston Rockets old arena, which he fills up every Sunday, probably as frequently as he wants. Of course, during the flooding a couple years ago, he decided not to let anybody come inside of it, of course, because what would Jesus do? Whole thing. I like to joke that my family celebrates American Christmas. Um, and American Christmas is it's everything. It's Christmas just without Jesus. That's American Christmas. So you get Santa and the presents and the Christmas trees and the music and everything else, just without the presence of the entire reason that Christmas is Christmas, which is Christ. Of course, we know that. That's kind of like Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen is like American Christianity. That might be too far. I'm just sort of flying by the seat of my pants on this one today. So you can tell me to pound sand. You can tell me that I'm wrong. But it's kind of funny. Kind of funny to think about that. We're like, what would this be like if we just didn't have Jesus? Was it Dogma? Was the movie Dogma where they had Buddy Christ trying to make Jesus a little bit more popular? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. All right. So let's then move on to I think that we're probably at number one. Probably at number one. And this guy's been on the tip of my tongue quite a bit, quite a bit. It is this next author is going to write the second edition of What Hell's Really Like. And the author is Anthony Fauci. The author is Anthony Fauci. What's hell really like? This guy is behind some of the most atrocious crimes against humanity that anybody's ever been. He was behind the whole AIDS, you know, using experimental drugs on people that came down with this disease and killing them. It's AZT and it's just brutal. He's behind gain of function. He's behind just so many awful things. And of course, he just got a preemptive pardon from Joe Biden, which made my head explode. Holy cow. So I'll look forward to that copy for sure. Second edition of What's Hell Really Like by Tony Fauci. Hmm. Hopefully, hopefully we live in a world where people get what they deserve. Maybe he already is. Maybe he's already getting what he deserves. Maybe he's not a happy person. Can't imagine. But who knows? Maybe he loves it. That's probably true, huh? Probably a total psycho. Doesn't really care. Certainly doesn't care what I have to say about it or what I think about him. Interesting. But the whole purpose of this is for me to vent a little bit, to bark at the moon, howl at the moon. But those are some pretty good books that I'd like to see one day. I wouldn't mind. I would not mind. Hmm. So, so there you go. Let's recap. Let's recap. Bill Clinton, How I Did It. Nancy Pelosi on stock trading. LeBron James on longevity in the sport. Joel Osteen, the first edition of What's Hell Really Like. And then number one out of our five for this week, Anthony Fauci. Good old Tony Fauci writing the second edition of What Hell's Really Like. All right. Get out there, make it happen, do your part, doing your best.